Americans are the most mobile people on earth. The average family moves once every 5 years over roads. And when they get to where they're going, they keep on moving, to work and to play, over roads. Everything we consume makes part of its trip over roads. It's been said that America didn't become a mobile nation because we're wealthy. We became a wealthy nation because of our mobility. Every school student learns about the 4 freedoms guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. But there's a vitally important 5th freedom, which is a major source of our strength and prosperity. It's the freedom of mobility. America is one of the few countries in the world whose people have always been free to come and go as they please. Now that freedom is being threatened, as each day more of us become prisoners in our own cars, in rush hour traffic jams, on roads and streets that can't handle today's traffic, much less tomorrow's. But what can frustrated drivers do about it?
People who are sitting in traffic and don't like it, people who are seeing roads wear out under their wheels, aren't letting Congress know that they object to this situation. Congress is not hearing from back home, from the people who send them to Washington, that highways, roads, and bridges is an issue that Congress needs to take up because we, your voters back home, need some help.
Shortly after World War II, we made a national commitment, started investing billions of dollars, and began building the interstate highway system, the most modern and efficient highway network in the world. It revolutionized transportation, connecting people with jobs and smoothing the flow of raw materials and components to factories and finished goods to market. Although it has served us well, it's now time to protect that investment by planning and funding a highway program that will meet our future needs. If we don't, we risk losing a lot more than just the luxury of moving about freely.
There's no question that the real key for our competitive industries as they compete in the world is going to be the efficiency of our transportation system. That is one of the areas where we can beat the competition in Europe and the Pacific Rim by making an investment now, relieving congestion, allowing our systems to operate in a just-on-time mode for inventory control and product delivery. We're going to lower the cost of transportation. So it's a win-win-win situation, and that's why we've got to keep this effort going, and that's why the Highway Users Federation is so important in their efforts to lead this, along with the Department of Transportation and some of the other organizations.
Every moving wheel on every road is a wheel of progress. When it stops, progress stops. A worker doesn't get to work on time. A load of goods doesn't make it to market. A family vacation is delayed. Most people don't think of a road as an investment, but it is. It's a vital link in the productivity chain. Since the advent of the automobile, the investment we've made in roads has paid handsome dividends in terms of our individual freedom and collective prosperity. The condition of a country's roads, bridges, and highways directly affects the condition of its people. That's why a new federal highway program must have a high priority. The Highway Users Federation is calling for cooperation from both the public and the private sectors to develop a long-term federal highway program that will meet America's surface transportation needs well into the next century.
In this country, the public sector owns the road systems, and yet it's the private sector that's trapped in traffic jams, the private sector wearing out vehicles on old roads. We need to have a cooperative relationship where the private sector is totally involved in everything that goes on, helps the federal and state governments develop their priorities, and helps gain support for the highway program.
Though the interstate program comes to an end, I think we will be creating a new program called National Highways, or Highways of National Significance. And so that's part of what we will be doing. And I think the Highway Users Federation calling for a $21.8 billion program is a good place to start in terms of what we will be looking at for that post-interstate period beginning October 1 of 1991.
We need to continue to work like Highway Users Federation are doing and others to pass the word out to the rest of the general public that all uses the roads of the importance it is for Americans to recognize the value of investing in a good road system, so that those people in turn will help educate the members of Congress.
The condition of a road has a direct impact on safety. When roads deteriorate, accident rates go up, traffic slows down, and cars take a beating. But when a bridge deteriorates, disaster can strike. In recent years, a number of bridges have simply collapsed. Some have cost lives.
Having safe vehicles and do all that we can to have safe drivers and safe pedestrians, all of those things are wonderful, but they really won't amount to much if we don't have safe roads and safe bridges and safe highways. And so as we go about talking about safety for the future and the future of the highways and the people who use them, we must certainly be concerned about the engineering and about all of the qualities that we can build into these safe structures for these vehicles to cross over.
Our new federal highway program must have two major objectives. Short range, protect our investment in the existing highway system by providing money to maintain and replace worn-out roads and unsafe bridges. And long range, launch a program coordinated with state and local governments that includes the necessary planning and technology to meet our mobility needs well into the next century. At the present rate of growth, traffic volume in urban areas will double by the year 2000. In many cities, there's not enough available land to add all the road capacity needed, so ways will have to be found to better utilize existing roads to avoid total gridlock. The Japanese and Europeans are experimenting with onboard navigation systems. This one, already on the streets of West Berlin, talks drivers around traffic jams.
Kreisverkehr. Erste Ausfahrt.
Why are the Europeans and Japanese ahead of us in applying this smart car and highway electronic technology?
Clearly the needs are greater both in Japan and in Europe. They do not have the open space. So there's a different imperative, and theirs takes a higher national visibility, and so their governments have pushed them harder than ours has to this point.
We already have the technology needed to launch us into an era of smart cars and smart highways. What we need is a coordinated long-range program to apply that technology so vehicles and highways will work more safely and efficiently. The possible benefits are endless. That's why the Highway Users Federation and others are forming a public-private partnership called the Intelligent Vehicle Highway Society of America to coordinate the use of advanced technology for smart cars and highways in this country.
The Defense Department has put up some $12 billion worth of satellites, and those satellites, by the proper kind of contact, can be made to give us a very precise position here on the surface of the Earth. We have the computer industry already looks at the car market as its principal customer, and now we're going to have this geodetic positioning system technology put into that same car for a very small amount of money. And so this car is going to be a very smart piece of machinery, and we're going to have to be very smart to learn how to manage all that technology. But the technology is there.
Americans are fiercely independent. They like to come and go as they please, when they please. But the need for a carefully planned and adequately funded long-range highway program goes far beyond personal independence and convenience.
An adequate transportation system and infrastructure will be the key to our international competitiveness. If we can't move goods in an efficient, productive way, competitive with costs in other countries in the world, then we're going to lose on the competitiveness front.
We have about $17 billion in the Highway Trust Fund. Somehow we've got to find a way to convince Congress to use that money. I'm not quite sure what the solution is, but it should definitely be earmarked for highway use.
If we use the $17 billion, we could go 5, 6, 7 years into the future program here, get started on the projects that are of top priority, and not even raise the gasoline fee.
The American people must make this a bread and butter issue, because it really is. Without a good highway system, we simply can't have the kind of economy it takes to advance the standard of living of our citizens.
It's going to take a firm national commitment to protect America's investment in nearly 4 million miles of existing streets, roads, and highways and provide for our future mobility needs. The new federal highway program must be as far-sighted as the one that launched the interstate highway system 35 years ago. Ideally, it should preserve and protect the interstate through a program of restoration, rehabilitation, resurfacing, and reconstruction. It should create a national arterial highway system that will upgrade priority routes on the primary highway system with safer designs, controlled access, and added lanes. There must be an ongoing effort to reduce metropolitan traffic congestion by improving urban and suburban roads and bridges, traffic signal systems, and public transit. The federal program should help upgrade roads in small towns and cities and rural communities where traffic volumes and road budgets are small. We need a uniform state-managed bridge program to assure that all highway bridges are properly inspected, maintained, and repaired. The new legislation must include a new traffic safety program that targets such things as high accident locations, driver education, selective police enforcement, trucking regulations, and other high payoff safety measures. We can make better use of the roads we have by applying state-of-the-art electronic technology to make vehicles and highways work more safely and efficiently. The new plan should provide for better scenic and recreational roads so that more of us can see and enjoy the beauty of our own country. It also should assure better planning by tying together private development decisions with transportation, strengthening state and local planning. These priorities were established through extensive research with input from a broad cross-section of federal, state, and local highway experts, as well as highway users. Their recommendations are incorporated in a plan that's been presented to Congress for consideration in the new Surface Transportation Bill.
We're looking for Congress to pass a new long-term highway program by September 1991 at the latest. We have a very brief window of opportunity. If we miss this window, we don't have it again. We've missed the boat and we end up with transportation a lot worse in the future than it is today.
The turn of the century saw the birth of the automobile industry and America's initial investment in roads. Now, as we approach a new century, that initial investment has grown into a network of roads and highways that's the single greatest contributor to our economic growth. How wisely we preserve, manage, and improve that system will determine our American standard of living and freedom of mobility for generations yet to come.